Gentlemen, we can talk this thing over. What is it you require of us?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most brutal scenes in R-rated movies.
Come on over. We got us a fight going on that's a good bit of fun.
For this list, we're looking at the most intense and graphic scenes from movies with R ratings. However, we won't be including horror movies, as that just wouldn't be fair. Since some of these scenes arrive at crucial moments, here is your spoiler alert. Do you have to look away during any of these scenes? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Tongue Cutting. Oldboy. Oldboy is a movie all about desperation.
무슨 상자 갖다 놨는데 나보고 이거 열어보라는데 이거 그때처럼 보라색인데
안 돼!
After spending 15 years imprisoned in a hotel room, businessman Odesu will go to any lengths possible to locate his daughter and find out who's responsible for his captivity, not to mention his release.
내가 너희 누이한테 정말 죽을 죄를 졌다.
Upon learning some horrifying news he dare not speak, Desu hacks his tongue completely off. As soon as the bloodied Desu reaches for a pair of scissors and sticks his tongue out, it's clear there's no going back. While we don't see the moment of impact, the sound effects and Choi Min-sik's brilliant portrayal of anguish are more than enough to fill in the gaps. Number 9. Soap Beating. Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket's depiction of military life is brutal enough to give anyone second thoughts about enlisting.
Oh, you little maggot! You make me want to vomit!
This is especially true during the basic training scenes, where the new recruits are subject to the tyrannical rule of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman.
Why did you hide a jelly donut in your footlocker, Private Pyle?
Sir, because I was hungry, sir!
Because you were hungry.
When rule violations by Private Leonard Lawrence, cruelly nicknamed Gomer Pyle, get the rest of the recruits in trouble, they treat him to a blanket party. This involves wrapping bars of soap in towels and holding Lawrence down while they strike him. Lawrence is literally given a rude awakening, being beaten and gagged, with his muffled screams and thrashing movements showing just how traumatized he is.
Remember, it's just a bad dream, fat boy.
And anyone who's seen Full Metal Jacket knows that the trauma does not end there. Number 8. Sloth. 7. David Fincher's Seven quickly establishes a bleak and brutal world that only gets dimmer as the film goes on.
This was found behind the same refrigerator, written in Greece. There are 7 deadly sins, Captain.
While investigating a string of gruesome murders based on the 7 deadly sins, detectives William Somerset and David Mills see things not suitable for human eyes. At the crime scene for the victim meant to represent sloth, the detectives and SWAT team encounter a man who has been emaciated beyond recognition.
Get your people out of here.
Go on now, go!
No one touches anything. Some kind of friggin' wax sculpture or something.
He appears dead, the key word being appears. The man suddenly coughs and starts writhing in agony, terrifying everyone in the scene and the audience. Reportedly, the actors playing the SWAT officers didn't know the character was still alive, so their shocked reactions are genuine. Number 7. Squeal Like a Pig. Deliverance.
What the hell you think you're doing? Heading down river.
The tranquility of nature butts heads with the cruelty of humankind in John Borman's Deliverance, and few scenes are as hard to watch as this one.
This river don't go to Antry. You done taken a wrong turn.
When Ed and Bobby, one pair of Atlanta businessmen on a canoe trip down a Georgia river, encounter a couple of mountain men, it turns into a scene of unimaginable brutality.
Now let's you just drop them pants.
Drop?
Just take them right off.
I mean, what's this all about?
The normally relaxing sounds of nature are anything but when juxtaposed with such a horrifying act. And the acting from John Voight and Ned Beatty makes it all the more painfully real.
Well now. Squeal. Squeal. Squeal louder. Louder. Louder.
Here's a scene that will make you want to simultaneously close your eyes and cover your ears. Number 6. Execution Scene. The Green Mile.
Edouard Delacroix, you've been condemned to die by a jury of your peers. Sentence imposed by a judge in good standing in this state. You have anything to say before sentence is carried out?
While the heart-wrenchingly wrongful execution at the end of the film is what most of us think about when we think of the Green Mile, it's a botched one about midway through that really horrifies us beyond belief. When the bitter and spiteful corrections officer Percy is set to oversee the mild-mannered Dell's execution, he deliberately neglects to dampen the sponge that's meant to conduct the electricity to Dell's head. As a result, Dell's entire body is ravaged beyond belief, making for a drawn-out and needlessly painful death.
He's fine now. He's fine now. He's fine now.
As if we needed another reason to hate Percy, this scene is shocking in more ways than one.
I didn't know the sponge was supposed to be wet.
How many years you spent pissing on a toilet seat before someone told you to put it up?
Number 5. Arm amputation. 127 hours. It's one thing to hear about someone cutting off their arm, but it's another thing to see it recreated. In this incredible true survival story, hiker Aaron Ralston spends 5 full days with his arm pinned to a boulder at the bottom of a canyon.
About 150 milliliters of water left, which should keep me alive till tomorrow night.
Realizing there's no one coming to rescue him, Aaron knows the only way out is with a multi-purpose tool, and that it won't be an easy operation. Director Danny Boyle knows how to focus on the moment in a way that makes us feel like we're stuck right down there with Aaron. If there's one lesson to take away from this film, it's to always tell someone where you're going hiking.
I need help!
Number 4. Face smashing. Pan's Labyrinth. Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth is like if Alice in Wonderland were less about whimsy and more about horror, both real and fantastical. And there are few movie monsters who are quite as terrifying as Captain Vidal.
Capitán, mi padre es un hombre honrado.
Eso lo decido yo. Descúbrete cuando estés delante de mí.
Played by Sergi Lopez, Vidal is the epitome of psychopathic, going to any lengths he deems necessary to suss out rebels. One supposed rebel is captured and has his face mercilessly beaten in by Vidal, who performs this with chilling detachment.
Si mi padre lo dice, cazaba conejos.
And Vidal's desire for bloodshed doesn't stop there. Watching Lopez's masterful work in this scene, it's clear that Vidal is not someone to be reasoned with, but someone to avoid at any cost.
Me lo ha matado. Asesino. Hijo de puta.
Number 3. Mandingo Fight. Django Unchained. Some movies try to downplay the horrors of the American slave trade, but not Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained.
Get back on top now, turn around. There you go. There you go.
Recently freed Django and bounty hunter Dr. King Schultz find themselves in the gentleman's club of brutal slave master Calvin Candy. Here, they see slaves being forced to engage in Mandingo fights, where only the winner leaves alive.
Use your weight, boy. Use your weight. There you go.
Tarantino keeps us somewhat distanced from the brutality at first, but the bloodshed and desperation eventually become too great to ignore.
Do what I told you, boy. There you go.
We're not sure what's more shocking here, the violence or that anyone could be so cruel as to ever let this happen.
Go on, boy, finish it.
Number 2. Hand or Foot. City of God. City of God, an unflinching portrait of violence and crime in Brazil, routinely makes you forget you're watching a movie. After vicious crime boss Lil Zay hears his name mentioned, he holds 2 terrified youngsters at gunpoint, asking if they'd rather be shot in the hand or foot. He then forces a member of his gang, Steak with Fries, to choose one to execute. The cinematography, including the shaky camera, makes this moment and many others disturbingly immersive. And the actors are heartbreakingly effective in portraying a situation no one should have to endure. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Curb Stomp. American History X. When we think about scenes that are literally painful to watch, this is the first one that comes to mind. After his brother Danny informs him of a black man trying to break into his truck, neo-Nazi Derek retrieves a gun and starts firing.
In my mind, I imagine what would have happened if I hadn't gone to that room and told him.
But it takes more than bullets for Derek to express his unrelenting hatred for those he sees as different. When one of the men is left wounded on the sidewalk, Derek pulls him to the curb and demands he put his mouth on it before delivering a devastating final blow. The very sound of the teeth scraping the surface is enough to make us clutch our mouths in horror.
Put it on the curb right now!
That's it.
And once you've viewed this scene, it stays with you forever.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.